Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and we are continuing on with our January junk journal prompts series here on the channel, where we have all of these prompts that we released on our Facebook group for free for everyone to kind of craft along every day of the month by getting inspired by a new prompt. And in this series I am making these scrap tags sort of based on the prompt for the day. I'm only doing the first 7 days, but feel free to find the link to our playlist for this down in the description box, and you can craft along with me every day this week. And I am doing January 3rd, which today's prompt is pink, so we're going to be putting together this little pink scrap tag here. So to get started, we're going to need one of these tags templates. These are a freebie available to everyone. You can find the link down below. And I went ahead and printed it on cardstock. And we are going to be printing it on the back with just kind of a neutral paper. Again, all papers are linked down in the description box below. And I'm going to flip the tag over and we're going to be decorating the blank side using some of these romantic maps, paper pack, some paper doilies. I have some of these faded Victorian rose labels and tags here that I printed out and cut out a little bit earlier. And then I have some rose stickers that I made, and I will have a link down below for how to make stickers using our fussy cuts if you are interested, linked down in the description box. And we're going to kick off this project by cutting some strips from those pretty papers, and I'm also going over the edges of my tag with some distress ink in the color Vintage Photo. Again, this will be linked down in the description box for anybody interested looking for supplies. We have a link to our Amazon affiliate shop there. And then I'm going to be overlapping these papers. I am tearing the edges to make them look a little bit rougher here. And then I'm just going to kind of situate them so that they're covering up all of the white on my tag. And I'm just going to layer them up here, gluing them one on top of the other like this, and then cutting off any extra that's sticking out of the edges of my tag. And I'm going to save some of these scraps for decorating here, so you'll kind of see those come into play a little bit later. But first I'm going to grab one of my Victorian rose tags here, and I'm going to just kind of start tearing it up into little pieces, some just like 3 uneven strips here. And I'm just going to kind of glue them down onto the tag in kind of various places and positions, just wherever I think they look good here. You can put them wherever you want. You don't even have to use this exact kit, but I really love all of these kits. These are some of my favorite kits. I'm a big fan of pink floral roses. It just makes me happy. I don't know. It's hard to get wrong, you know? And then I'm taking my lace little paper doily here, and I'm just going to kind of use a fingernail to crease out where the corner is, and I'm going to use those creases as my guideline to cut this to fit. And I'm just going to glue it down here like this. And then I can go ahead and add my last little rose strip on top of it, and we're just starting to create those layers that make up kind of the bulk of the scrap tag here. Alright, so now that I have all of those in place, I am going to go into some of those little paper scraps that I already made earlier, and I'm just going to grab a few that I think look right here, go over them with a little bit of distress ink just to make them pop from the background a little bit. It's nice to have a bit of contrast when you're using such similar colors, and so since today's prompt is pink, everything is kind of pink, and the distress ink really helps pieces start to stand out from one another so it doesn't just become one pink blob. And to create a little bit more contrast, you can use things like, I have this, what is this, not Scotch tape, is it Scotch tape? What kind of tape is this? Masking tape? No, maybe? What kind of tape is this? Okay, yeah, it is masking tape. Guys, I've been doing these videos for so long, it's all just becoming one big blur. But you can use things like tape to kind of give a background to some of the pink and help separate pieces like I'm doing here. I'm also adding in some of those rose fussy cuts and stickers just to kind of add more of that floral element. We're starting to get into some of the smaller layers here. Sorry if you can hear my cats running in the background. She's got the zoomies and she's just flying around the house and there's nothing I can do. So if you can hear that, that's what that is. But anyway, you can see here I'm using one of my little floral tags, and I went ahead and used a micro hole punch to poke a hole in the top and added some ribbon just to give a little bit more texture. You can add things like frayed ribbon or lace or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a few pieces here. And then for sort of my final layer here, I'm cutting out some pieces from this inspirational scrap. This might look familiar if you watched my last scrap tag that we made for January 2nd. And I'm just going to cut out a few pieces from that so that I have like a full quote I can glue down as my final layer here. So just going in and gluing down all of my individual little pieces that I have assembled here, and then finishing it up with these little scrap words. And you could go over these with some distress ink if you want them to pop a little bit more. I actually kind of liked that they sort of faded into the background, so I'm gonna leave them as is. And for my final little unique element for this tag here, I am taking some chain and I'm just going to cut it with some wire cutters here, just some cheap chain you can get at any craft store. And I'm going to loop it onto this little mini paper clip I have, and I'm just going to create like a little charm dangle here. So I have this little paper clip piece, and that's how it's going to clip onto the tag, so it is removable. And then for the actual charms here, I'm going to take, I've got these little like hoops or like little rings from Tim Holtz that we purchased on Amazon. And I'm just going to put a couple of those rose labels on it along with the label for today's date and prompt. And using a bulb pin, I'm going to just hook it onto the end of my chain like this. And that's going to create just a little sort of dangle here. And I did realize that my chain was a little bit too long, so I just trimmed the chain a little bit shorter, and this is kind of what it looks like when it's all finished. And there you go, that is today's prompt, the color pink for our little scrap tag. I hope that you had fun crafting along with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on tomorrow's video, and I will see you then. Bye!